We're live like D Live. Welcome
Yes,
back,
sir.
everybody. It's been a minute. It's been a couple weeks taken off with the All Star break. I didn't watch any of it, and I don't think I missed much based on all the complaints. Happy Dame won the 3-point contest and also MVP. That's my favorite player. Love seeing that. Um, but yeah, over the course of the break, Diego and I actually caught up with each other in
Oh yeah.
Illinois. We did not plan this whatsoever. I was just hooping on the grind, and then my man comes strolling in, doesn't even recognize me at first. I felt slightly slighted by that. Then proceeds to be disrespectful, doesn't allow me to win my one on one, and comes back and wins, and then
That's fun.
just out rebounds everybody in 32 and goes on this tear. So I
There's
got some work to do. I'll get Diego back on the rematch. But how was
and
your weekend, Diego?
it's been, it's been pretty good. Pretty chill. I didn't really have anything to do. I watched the Mavs game against the Pacers. I watched Suns Lakers game. I wanted to see the Lakers win, but they did not. Nothing too crazy to be honest. I bought some new button ups. That was kind of interesting. Hit the gym. Played some basketball. Like I told you, I won three straight games in some work runs. So that's kind of fun.
Oh, nice. He's
Yeah,
been dropping them dimes and ankles
low
and
key.
work runs. I was dropping a lot of threes in my runs. I play in Battle Creek, so that's been pretty fun. I was on a tear. I have this weird stretch where sometimes like when I'm trying to practice my threes, like I'll get too hyper focused on my form, and then like some little thing's gonna cause me to miss. In games, like I just for whatever reason I'm just natural launching it from distance. It's a lot easier for me to hit those, and then I was hitting my left-handed layups. So still working on my game, a little bit working on my offhand and stuff because it's been a couple months since I played. But
Yeah,
when Diego and I play again, it's going to be a different story, and then he's going to be absolutely shocked and how he can't dominate like usual. But
we'll see.
it'll be fun. It was fun to get some runs in. I found a consistent gym, so um,
Yeah,
got some basketball to play in addition to watching some basketball. So can't complain about that.
true.
You can't complain about the Mavs. How the Mavs are looking right now. I think they're playing right. Who are they facing?
Playing the Cavs, down by one with 9 minutes left in the fourth. Away
Gonna be a
from
great
home as
game.
well. On a really tough road trip. Going to the Pacers, now the Cavs. Then we have the Raptors, thankfully, on a back to back tomorrow night. And then
Thankfully,
on Friday night,
that
the
sounds
Celtics.
really tough.
I'd rather have the Raptors on a back to back than the Celtics. Jeez. Yeah, I
That
don't.
that is fair. That is fair. But I'm also thinking about like the airtime, the travel, and then like going to a
No,
different
no,
country and then
definitely.
navigating
I
all
just
that.
think if we win this game, it helps. But we can talk about that later. But yeah, reasonable time to be a Mavs fan. Obviously, we beat the Suns. I thoroughly enjoyed that. That was a good time. So good stuff there. I mean, yeah, Luke has been showing MVP form. That was kind of the biggest game. He scored 41 points on national television. Kind of woke everyone up to saying that he could be an MVP. All of Mavs Twitter is just fighting because it seems like there's an agenda like at ESPN where they don't want to talk about Luca being MVP, and it's understandable. But I would just say one thing is that uh, Jokic won his like first MVP when the Nuggets were a 6 seed. They ended as a 6 seed because the stats were so good. So I'm just saying we should treat my boy Luca the same way. But anyway, uh, team team overall has been pretty good. I just think Tim Hardaway on Sunday was not not nice, chucking up a few shots, and yeah. Aside from that, I'm pretty good. Trying to get Jaden Hardy more minutes. That's something. Jaden Hardy and Derrick Jones Jr. Less Tim Hardaway, hopefully. But overall, pretty good. Hopefully, we can get this win here. Need to restart another win streak. And I got this new shirt this weekend. Dallas Mavs basketball. Locked in. So locked in right now. So yeah, nothing else new for me. I mean, PJ Washington clamped up uh Kevin Durant. There's a joke going around that he clamps someone up in a
Wow.
game and he's in P jail.
Oh my god.
It's I've gotten so niche into Mavs Twitter that it's actually kind of funny. Like literally, they're like, "Yep, look who's in P jail now." And it was like Wemby because we beat them before the All Star break. Kuzma because PJ guarded him as well before the All Star break. And then it was Katie, and then who was the last person? I think they were trying to put Siakam in there, but since we lost, they didn't do it. Oh, and he just hits a nice shot. But yeah, it's a funny one. Daniel Gafford's been pretty good.
I was just about to ask about him.
And I mean, oh, as I was just seeing him on the court, Maxi Kleba, he's been a huge part of the team. Um, I think a big thing for him, he kind of just got back healthy right as we started this last winning streak. And I think the biggest thing for him is even though you don't like, and I've heard this from other like bigger podcasts and whatnot, but no one knows who Maxi Kleba really is. But he is one of the best like role player defenders that can really switch almost 1 through 5. Almost, I say, because he's not perfect, obviously. He's kind of old as in like 31, 32. But coming off this injury, he's been playing really well. I think a big thing of his game is verticality. Like guards will come and he just goes straight up and contests perfectly. So he's a big reason why we can play small, and that's actually what we did against the Suns. When they tried to play small against us, we kind of threw out another kind of small ball lineup. So yeah, overall, a lot of hope on this team, and I'm just trying to see where we can go from here. Hopefully, get it up.
Yeah, I think deep sleeper for sure. And then
Hmm.
like take into consideration this is what Gafford and Washington's sixth game with the team. So
Yeah,
not a
something
lot of
like that.
traction to build chemistry, and the fact that like the Mavs look completely different is
Hmm.
like great to see. I mean, with Luca and MVP talk, you'd think it would happen like after he scores 70 points, but like
That's what I'm saying.
I guess not. I guess there's no discussion there.
It's
But
a. Hmm.
like, but back on the point with Kleba, I think the stats don't support that he's a great like defender and he's
Yeah.
underrated. To your point, like he's
Hmm.
having like zero point 0.4 steals per game, I think, and like zero point 0.7 blocks per game. So like,
Yeah.
it's not often like that he gets that steal or like gets that block, but like
Hmm.
sometimes it doesn't even matter. Like as far as like good defense, I think
Oh yeah.
people forget like I love how you brought up the positioning, like how
Hmm.
he positions himself, like how he gets himself like ready to like switch out on guards and switch out on like other bigs, and like that's important stuff. Like it's yeah, the stats are nice to stuff the stats like that. Like we were just talking about off air, like Wemby versus Chet and like Wemby leading
Yeah.
the league in blocks and stuff. That's all good, right? But like the savvy players, like as you get deeper in the playoffs, they know how to contort and use their body against guys that have like high blocks like stats.
Hmm.
So like if you get like Wemby in foul trouble, Gobert in foul trouble, suddenly you're in trouble. Like
Hmm.
you can't rely on those players to be defensive anchors or defensive specialists
Yeah.
um when their primary like efforts are in blocking. Not to
Hmm.
say that that's the only thing they have in their game, but that that's the strength they lean on. Whereas with Kleba, he's a lot more like skilled, savvy. That
Hmm.
stuff carries in the playoffs. So thing I love about their moves is they're not relying on Kleba and Lively to play like 30 plus minutes a game.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
have this rotation of bigs and like high energy effort from a guy like PJ Washington clamping down, from a guy like Daniel Gafford giving you some positive things, from a guy like Kleba, who's always been savvy, like you mentioned, and then Derek Lively finding his way. And this is the perfect time for Lively to start to put the pieces together on his rookie year.
Yeah.
Like he finished his onboarding period, and you're thinking about your first 4 months in the job, and then now he's like, okay, we're applying these skills and taking a look at other bigs. Sorry, I had to put the
No,
work in there,
this
switching on rotation.
made it feel like an engineering job we're talking about.
Yeah, no, I'm doing a little bit of reflecting here. So
That's good.
every time I switch jobs, but
Hmm.
switch work roles. But like here, like people like professional basketball is the same way. Like
Hmm.
there's some development that needs to happen, and like he's on the right track with that. So the
Yeah.
sky's up for this team because they look a lot more well rounded.
Hmm. Yeah, and I think big thing is that Lively doesn't have to play all the center minutes anymore. I mean, Kleba could play some of them, but I wasn't comfortable just having Kleba. So now we have Daniel Gafford, and I mean Dwight Powell is still out there. He's still sitting there on the bench, and I like it. Like he's just like a little tool you have in your toolbox. You're like, I don't really need it, but I enjoy its presence. And that's how I feel about Dwight Powell. But other big thing, sorry, I've been distracted by the game because we were down like 98, 90, and now we're up 105, 98. And Luka has 45 points, 6 and 9 from three, I think 17 of 27. So he's cooking right now
He's him.
on
There's no.
Slovenian night in Cleveland. So they
You
might have messed
can
up the night.
talk to me about Kawhi. You can talk to me about Paul George. Talk to me about the elite defenders in the league. But like Luca's a rare guy where like no matter what you do,
Hmm.
he's gonna make you wrong. And sorry, I'm trying to gather myself in mid burp as I'm going
Very
through
good.
this. But like, there's he's him. There's no
Hmm.
way like to know. The Suns know this.
Yeah,
The Suns absolutely know this by now. And
they know
like,
it too well.
it's like you're not like he's one of the top 5 NBA players in the league.
Hmm.
Like when he's on it, and having a guy like Kyrie who's been there, who's been the star, who's been the secondary star, I don't
Hmm.
think it's getting talked about a lot.
No, he's
It's
been cooking.
weird. It's weird how like Kyrie working out in Dallas is not getting enough buzz that
Hmm.
it is because like previous season, we've been talking about what a head case he was on the Celtics, what a head case
Yeah,
he was on the Nets, what a head case he was in the last like a,
few years
a
in
bit of
Cleveland.
time with the Cavs. Yeah, exactly. And like
Hmm.
suddenly when the Mavs are like investing in him and building around Luca
Yeah.
with guys like Kyrie and then with these bigs, things are working out.
Hmm.
We like when it wasn't working out initially, it's like, oh, isolation guys. Now, I think they're a dark horse candidate, and there's a lot of these in the Western Conference, but they're a real one. They're definitely a real one.
I'm sorry, I was making some faces. Maxi Kleba just got a huge rebound off a Luca missed three, like three guys around him. Then passes out to PJ Washington. PJ Washington attacks the closeout, and Maxi just sneaks out to the 3 point line and drains it. Now up 10 points, and we just gave up an offensive
Nice.
rebound. But yeah, no, like I agree. Luca just has a way of bending defenses, and in my opinion, that's why he should be MVP because no other player can control a game like he does. Like, yeah, Shea can score. Don't get me wrong, but Shea can't put up triple doubles like Luca can. And Shea's also not that good of a defender either. He's playing usually on the third best player on the opposite team. So just a few, but I will say the one qualm I've said it before. Luca's defense, like he's been better. His defensive like metrics are better and whatnot, and that's valid. But it's just sometimes like he just won't make any efforts for closing out and such like that, and that's what makes it difficult. Oh man, we just got to turn over, but whatever. Like it's tough. I think in that sense, I think if he put the same amount of effort on defense as he did on offense, our team would be unstoppable. But it's tough. So I think it's something he'll
Yeah,
get to. I mean, Jokic now is starting to play better defense. Now, obviously, he's not clamping up. He's not clamping up one guy in the jeez in the paint or like clamping up a guy like one on one. But he's like in the Warriors game, he was really playing good defense
he's
because he's
savvy.
allowed. Yeah, like he has a
And I
team
mean,
around
the
him.
one argument against MVP is like Jokic. Jokic is still
No,
like the best player in
Jokic.
basketball. Like I was just watching a video where it's like, try to guess what Jokic does on each possession.
Oh, is
Does he
it
make
B-ball breakdown
think in
video?
basketball? Yeah,
Yeah, I
think in
love
basketball.
those. That was good.
Like
This is
it's
difficult.
like, does he pass it to Eric Gordon on the slip cut? Does he
Hmm.
pass it to Jamal Murray on like coming around the paint, like the play I keep talking about from the previous years, or
Yeah.
does he slip it to him on the back cut? And it's a fun exercise. And
Hmm.
Jokic makes defenses play that in real time in milliseconds, and it's always the back cut you don't expect, but the chemistry he has with those guys and the coordination, like that's he's not a point guard,
Hmm.
but like the way he directs offenses is just beautiful.
Wow.
Like
No, yeah.
he's not a point guard, but he is. Like it's just he you don't see centers doing that.
Hmm.
And so like that's the only hard argument I have to make against Luca. If Jokic didn't exist, I think it's clear cut Luca's MVP.
Yeah. Y- Jokic is still playing numbers. I think the only and like more like issues with the uh MVP award in general is like because this would be his third MVP. Like he's probably not gonna win it because the whole voter
Yeah.
fatigue issue.
Mhm.
So that's the only reason why I wouldn't say Jokic would win it. I think he's deserving of it. Obviously, I mean, he's far and
So many
away,
players are at this point.
yeah. But like Jokic, far and away, I think the best player in basketball right now. No one is at his level. No one can guard him. Like you're literally guarding him, hoping he just misses.
We saw Draymond Green try to do that. It was just like
Yeah,
he made Draymond Green look silly, and
no,
like
he's
for all
just
the slack we
different.
throw on Draymond Green for getting himself in technical trouble and stuff like that, like
No, he's a
he's
good
a great
defender.
defender. He clamped up Kevin Durant to win that game,
Hmm.
like against the Suns. So
Yeah, yeah. Man,
I mean,
that's all I got.
no, I mean I hear you. They can Mavs
Do
can
something.
make it to the conference championship. There's an avenue for that, but we'll get into the Western Conference because
Yeah, need to get
that
lucky a little
conference
bit.
is absolutely tough. Um,
Hmm.
Meanwhile, on the Bulls side, I saw they were up on the break against the Pistons. I can't get the game up for the life of me right now, so not seeing how they currently do, but I've just been really impressed with Ayo DeSumo and Kobe White. Their
Mm,
3-point shooting has got a lot more smoother. They seem a lot more confident. Oh, there we go. They're up by 10 with a minute to go in the half. So,
nice.
pretty excited about that. They're up against the Pistons at home, so I
Yeah,
feel good about them like winning that game. But I didn't feel good about them winning against the Pelicans, and they ended up like going on this run and beating them a couple games ago. So we'll see what happens. But
yeah.
anyway, and the topic at hand, um, Kobe White especially has been like a lot more. You could see the confidence ease through the roof, and I think with
Hmm.
more opportunities, um, he's been effective. Io concerns me a little bit sometimes, but like just missing wide open threes for no apparent reason. But
Hmm.
like he's been a lot better about like being consistent in that area,
Hmm.
and he's slowly gained more confidence too. I'm not on the train where I think you should start to trade away um, Levine, Vucevic, and DeRozan for value and try to build around the team. I'm not ready to say that yet. I think what you do is keep adding pieces to the puzzle,
Hmm.
manage the cap as best as you can, because once Levine comes back, once Ball comes back, now suddenly you have these group of like 5 to 6 guys with the hope that plays
Yeah.
even better, and like you got a rotation of 7 to 8 guys when like a majority of them can get you 15 or more points.
Hmm.
That's valuable in this league. And they've been a lot better defensively from the guard spots. Like I I would ride this out if I'm the Bulls. Keep building around what you've had. Jalen Terry's been amazing.
Oh
Their
yeah.
rookie, Julian Phillips, I think.
I
Um,
haven't heard of
give
him.
give these guys some minutes. They're high energy guys. Give these guys a chance to develop. You you're doing the right things with Ayo DeSumo and Kobe White. This is proof of the putting. And like
Yeah.
you're trying to get these guys to develop from the ground up. It tells you that coaching is good. You just need a talent influx, and I think they're in the right spot. For me, even though the Bulls are probably going to run into the Celtics if they even make it past the play-in
Yeah.
tournament, without Levine and without Ball, these are the kind of things I was hoping for. And last year, they were kind of in the spot with Levine, with
Mhm.
DeRozan, with Vucevic. And to see them still in the spot without some of like the high-end talent right now gives me hope for like what they could be if you put all these pieces together. So
No, yeah, I definitely agree, and I think moments like these where your players are really where your best players are injured, giving your secondary guys a chance to kind of get more minutes and whatnot. I think it's big development wise, like you said. Like Kobe White wouldn't have this chance if Levine is having all those shots for him. So this, I like your idea and your hope for it because I don't really think about it too much, but I would not be as hopeful about the Bulls because they're kind of everything's kind of up in the air on Lonzo, right? And
yeah.
I'd like to see him back, but
I
like
mean, but the beauty about it is now you don't have to count on Lonzo being bad because you have 2 point guards that are developing right now
that's true.
to play alongside with DeRozan and Levine.
Hmm.
So you're kind of deep on your point guard whether Lonzo comes back or not because you also think about Caruso, right?
No,
So
that's
you're three
true.
deep, 4 deep with Lonzo. That's why I think like you're set. You're set with your rotations because like you could ramp up Lonzo and then like
Hmm.
following year, and then like the back half of the year, spread these guys and throw different lineups and configurations together. But give yourselves that chance. Don't just throw away Vucevic, like DeRozan and Levine for draft capital, with the constant hope that you'll build back to this team
No,
suddenly
yeah,
like making Io and Kobe. Don't get me wrong, they're building confidence, they're building skill set, but I don't think they're ready to lead the team, like be the go-to guys like DeRozan. Like
no,
this is the same. It's the same thing with Jordan Poole right now.
yeah,
Like this is the thing I was worried about when he signed with the Wizards. Like suddenly you're handing him all these keys when he's put up the stats for it, but he hasn't
mhm,
proven he's been the leader, especially going to that situation with Draymond Green season before.
yeah,
Like I think it's a dangerous thing to suddenly try to maximize like the money situation, the salary cap situation, just
mhm,
to try and control that,
yeah,
like, and just build young for the sake of it, and say, like, there's a lot of good things here. I think you could keep building. Like, the first half of the year, I was like, I don't know about this because they were struggling a lot, and then they found their footing. So
mhm. No, that's interesting. I like it. I like the idea of it, and especially because Levine and DeRozan are your main guys. It's not as worrisome if you don't have that level of point guard anymore. But
yeah.
yeah, I could see it happening.
The one thing that still irks me is like with the Vooch part,
Yeah,
he almost threw away the game against the Pelicans. Like,
really.
it, yeah, DeRozan had this possession where he fed Vooch like a basic like a bunny hop to the basket, like off
Hmm.
a pick and roll or something like that. Or I think it was Kobe White, either Kobe White or DeRozan at the end of the game. Bless you.
Thanks.
um, and and Vooch fumbled the bag. He
Hmm.
fumbled it, he lost it, and then somehow DeRozan comes flying out of nowhere, gets the ball back, and hits a dagger three. That's how that possession happens, and that's the only reason we won against the Pelicans. But it wouldn't have got to that situation if like Vooch like took his
And
eyes off the
fumbled,
ball or didn't
yeah.
focus at that time. Like sometimes Vooch plays clumsily, and it
Hmm.
just annoys me. It just annoys me so much. Like he does a lot on the defensive end, but sometimes he has like those one or two possessions where it's just like Vooch, what are you doing? Vooch, stop it, Vooch. So if we can get our own like PJ Washington plus on the
Yeah.
Bulls, to replace Vooch, I wouldn't mind that. But that's the only thing I think the Bulls could be better from like a high end talent wise. Otherwise, they got a lot of good things there. I think they're ready. I don't think they're Celtics level ready, but
Who
keep
is?
building. You're doing some good things here.
Yeah. No, I can see that. Uh, Vooch, I also he feels a lot older, but I know him and DeRozan are similar ages, but I don't know. He just doesn't feel as effective as he was really. He doesn't feel as big of a name as he was when he got to the
He was on the
Bulls.
Magic. Yeah.
Yeah, like when that trade happened, I was like, "Oh, this could be huge, and this could really mean something." But
Mm.
we're still waiting on that, so we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, one thing we're not waiting on anymore is the Warriors to be back. We tried telling you about
Yeah,
this, and I think they won the last 6 games or like close to it. Like right
yeah.
now, they're a minute and 16 away. Well, they lost to the Nuggets on Sunday, but
Well, yeah,
they're a minute and 16 away from beating the Wizards. Um, let's see. I'm just looking. They won their. Let's see.
they won against the.
They won 7 of or like 8 of their last 9. Like they've been on a
Okay,
tear. Like
yeah,
they last lost to the Hawks, and then since then they've only lost like twice. Like
yeah.
they lost to the Clippers, which makes sense. That's a tough game, and then
Hmm.
they lost to the Nuggets on Sunday. Like they've been
Yeah.
really impressive to me.
No, they've really been playing up, and I think a big thing is, like we said, Draymond kind of getting back into his own, being playing center again, which I think is very interesting, and especially I think he's been shooting. I saw it on B-ball breakdown video today. He's shooting 44% from three on 2.5 attempts this year, which is absolutely not, like I would not believe you if you had told me that any time before today. Just because, like, how does he do? How can he not do that? And then now he does it, which doesn't really make sense to me. But whatever, you know.
I think it's just as simple as he's not placed to focus on it because it's like, why do I
Yeah,
have to do it if Steph is there and Clay is there?
yeah.
Like I can just like set a screen for them at the top of the key rather than me like shoot at the top of the key.
Yeah, but I just think that's his one offensive flaw in his game is if he could shoot, it would be a whole different thing. Like they would be almost unstoppable. At least they would be a lot better than they are now.
Mm,
Like 2016, Draymond Green, you could not just leave him open like they do now. Like
mhm.
he wasn't a sniper per se, but he could make the open shot, and he would
Even
not
like
let.
game 7 when they ultimately lost to the
Mhm.
Cavaliers, like he was absolutely huge for them.
Yeah,
Like if the Warriors won that series, he would have been the MVP because of that performance.
Hmm.
That's how great he was.
No, yeah, I agree. So it's definitely interesting that when he's become the center, they've been playing really well. And it also gives space for Pajemski now that Clay also isn't in the starting lineup. Pajemski's been
Mm.
playing very well, hitting a lot of threes.
I've
I
been
think
really
they're
impressed
really
with him.
leaning into this. And Kuminga's, I think he's also starting. So it's like
Yeah.
Pajemski, Steph, Kuminga, Wiggins, and Draymond, which is like it isn't the original two timelines, but it's close to it, you know. So very interesting. Also, I think the Mavs just got the ball with 9 seconds left, down one, which is interesting.
Luka time.
No, we didn't. Never mind. They made it look like it was Mavs ball, and then they just lied to us. But whatever. A lot
That's
of fouls
crazy.
going the Cavs' way is all I'm gonna say. But whatever.
It's rigged. It is rigged.
Yeah. But no, I think it's very interesting. I mean, you have Steph Curry playing at a regular level. Never mind, Mavs just got the ball back. But Steph Curry is playing at a Steph Curry level in that game against the Pacers. He made his first like six threes. He can be that guy on the team, and I'm interested to see when the playoffs. Everyone's talking about Warriors, Lakers playing. Very very interesting stuff, and I'm here for it. I'm down to see these two greats play again. I mean, like that Saturday night game a few weeks ago, it was nuts. So they could definitely treat us to something like that again. So I'm down to see something from these Warriors, just as long as it's not against the Mavs.
Yeah. I mean, that's good luck against Steph if you're Luca. That's
If we get
like,
Dante Exum back, could be
yeah,
something.
I know. I saw that and I was like, adding Dante Exum to all those bigs is going to be another layer as well.
He's
Um,
so
he's,
active. I think that's the biggest thing.
yeah. I mean, but Steph's a different animal, man.
No, he is a
I
different
mean, the
animal.
thing with Draymond I wanted to touch on is like his 3 point shooting being at 44%.
Hmm.
Granted, he's shooting it 2 times a game,
Yeah.
but still, like, it's a huge difference because now it's like if he's willing to do that, then like the top of the key picks he sets, and then
Hmm.
like occasionally like
The
once or
handoffs.
twice a game, he will he will fake like he's doing it, and then it will like run straight to the rim with the ball, and the
Hmm.
big always looks embarrassed because he's like he
Yeah.
didn't expect Draymond to like cut to the basket at that point with the ball in his hand. He was expecting it to go to Steph on the handoff. Like
No,
so,
it's a
those
classic,
fake
classic
handoffs he
thing.
does like now that makes him more potent.
Hmm.
And then like if you think about their lineups with Looney, like those fake handoffs, if Draymond can't get the open lane, he gives it up to Looney
Let's go.
to hit
Yeah.
the game winner.
With 2 seconds left. Oh God. Oh,
Wow,
please not Strus. Oh my God, no!
he made
No
it.
way! He made a
Oh my.
three-quarter court shot. You're kidding! You're kidding! No! Come on! Oh my!
uh,
I That's on me. I was like, this is done. I That's the thought. Wow. Oh, he was also wet. Like I'm not surprised he made it.
that is
So close.
unbelievable.
I
That
want
is
to. I mean, the buzzer went off. Oh, this is so painful. They even have the Mavs like score in yellow as if they would have won. Come on, no, he got it up.
uh,
I'm in so much pain.
this, my
Why did
friends,
you
is
take
life
that one?
as a
Oh,
Mavs
whatever.
fan.
No,
Unbelievable.
we literally no. We scored in an amazing way to be up one. You'll have to take it, man. Whatever. Still wearing this Mavs shirt tomorrow. It's messed up. But anyway,
I
sorry.
I'm deeply surprised that like Diego hadn't thrown his headset into the computer and like left the
It's
podcast
tough.
altogether.
It's
But
tough, man. But
that is tough. Net I haven't
we
I
had
want
the
to go see
game.
the highlights for that now and just screen
It's
capture
Bro,
that,
it's a
send it to you
three-quarter
and
court.
everything.
It's a three-quarter court shot. I'm fine with that. And I'm like, wait, am I fine with that? And I'm not fine with that.
Of course, it has to be Strus too because
Why
like
Max
going
Strus?
yeah.
Whatever,
From
man.
all our finals coverage of him, he was not that guy. But
Schmid, like
wow,
I swear.
yeah.
The one game. Whatever.
So what were we talking about? We were talking about the Warriors,
Draymond.
and Draymond, and I mean, his shooting the ball it's gonna unlock so many things because that's just gonna make him more potent. Whenever you can shoot the ball like that, like
Hmm.
all the other parts of your offensive game are just like exacerbated, and like it has a profound impact on your team because now you're so used to leaving Draymond open. Now you
Mm,
have to change your strategy and be like, okay, we got to guard Draymond now. That opens the backdoor cuts for guys like Wiggins, Pajensky, role players, Steph
mhm.
Curry to go on the back cut now. Like now he doesn't always have to curl at the top of the three because the team's relying on it. Now when you have like a lineup of like five shooters on the court, including Draymond Green, you're just opening up all these different things you didn't have because like Draymond was being a clog
Yeah,
because he didn't focus on the shooting habits. Now that it looks like he does,
I
it's
guess.
it's
Yeah.
unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. And Kaminga's been really impressive. Like he's
Hmm.
been playing starts minutes. I think it's about 25, 26 a game.
No, yeah, he's
And
been playing a lot.
Moses Moody had this crazy like between the legs like step back earlier today.
Really.
Like you have to see it on Bleacher. It was crazy. And like if they have their role players and young guys playing like that, this is going to be a high energy team with Steph Curry, who's
Yeah,
already like the most conditioned like 35-year-old you'll see. And yes, I get it. LeBron is being crazy. I get it.
he's not
But
35.
like Steph?
No, like LeBron's not 35.
Oh
So
no, no, I know that. I know
that
that.
already
I
separates.
know LeBron's way older than. It's like I'm trying to talk about the conditioning part.
No, yeah,
Like
yeah. No, I get
like
what you mean.
Steph is still like a guy like you'll get heart attacks trying to guard because like you have to
Hmm.
expend so much of energy just trying to chase him down the court, chase him around the half court sets. Like and you paired him up with like a bunch of young guys, and it's like your team better be ready to run now because basically what they're trying to they took what the Sacramento Kings like pride themselves on, and they found a way to incorporate it in their team, despite having guys like Chris Paul, Clay Thompson,
Hmm.
Steph
Well, I
Curry,
mean, Chris Paul's
and
been
then
out.
you add a layer like Chris Paul, like now like he's coming
Mhm.
back.
Yeah.
Now you're seeing okay, they play a certain way with Steph's on the court. Now Draymond can shoot it. Now they have all this athleticism and youth, and then you
Hmm.
have Chris Paul. So you have like four different variables of styles of play you have to consider, and you can't game plan for that.
Yeah.
There's no
It's
game plan
definitely
for that,
tough.
man.
Yeah, getting closer to their kind of ideal, almost 2014 beautiful game Spurs type of basketball. Moving the ball around, activity, player movement.
Yeah,
It's gonna help.
it's special, man. I would not count out these Warriors. They could easily pull a Miami Heat, like,
Yeah, they
but
could.
first they gotta. It seems like their nemesis right now is first the Lakers and then the Nuggets. If
Yeah.
they go up against those two teams and then probably put the Clippers up there because the Clippers can match up to what they do.
Hmm.
If they go up against any of those three teams,
It's gonna
the
be a
first
challenge.
round, it's gonna be tough. But like, if they have any other team for their first round, like I could see them beat the Thunder. I could see them beat the Timberwolves because of their experience.
Hmm.
Like, um, if they do that, then I think they're dangerous because it's a very confidence-based team,
Yeah.
and all it takes is one series, one opportunity for them to do that.
No, I
Don't
agree.
you ever count out the Warriors again?
I
Not Diego specifically, but
Yeah.
people.
Anyone out there who's been counting them out. I mean, I've been down to see the dynasty kind of fall apart, but at this point, I'm just like I don't really care. I'm just down to see whatever happens. I've kind of lost the opinion. After 2020, I was like, oh, it's over, we're done, and then they came back. So there's no real point in kind of fighting it.
Yep. And speaking of the Western Conference,
Yep.
we've been talking about a couple teams. What's crazy to me is the amount of games that separate seeds 5 through 10 is
Yeah, I'm about to
four.
pull it up.
Like the amount of games like that separate 5 and 8, including the Mavs from like the Phoenix
Yeah,
Suns and the Mavs,
God, this
is a game and is a
half
half a
half a
game.
game.
Like
Like,
unbelievable, man. We were just talking about the Utah Jazz singing their praises. They're now sitting outside the playing like tournament. It's
yeah,
unbelievable to
they're
me
3 games
because the
behind.
way they were playing was like so that it was perfect. It's like, okay, how
Yeah.
could this go wrong? And then suddenly they've been turning the ball over and like not playing enough defense as they should. And they
Hmm.
run into these issues
Yeah.
where like how do you assess like seeds 1 through 6? Never mind like 1 through 10. Like how
It's
makes
tough.
sense of the Western Conference for me.
I I think one way to kind of help understand where it's going to end up is strength of schedule as well. I mean, the Phoenix Suns, as of a few days ago, had the highest strength of schedule. So that doesn't look hopeful for them unless they go on a real run. I mean, Thaddeus Young being on their team is interesting. Let me see. I'm gonna look it up. NBA strength of schedule. I've already looked this up before. It's came up really easy. Yeah, Tankathon remaining schedule strength. Let's look at the West. So we have Phoenix, Utah, San Antonio, Lakers, Kings, Pelicans, Clippers, Nuggets, and then wow. So basically, all four of the top teams have like mid strength of schedule, like not too difficult. Mavs are fourth to last, basically fourth easiest strength of schedule. So Phoenix is the only one really affected by that. The Lakers as well a little bit, and the Kings and the
Mhm,
Pelicans. So they're kind of on the top half of that.
mhm.
So I think that's one thing that's going to really be tough for them to get over that, especially the Suns and the Kings, who really need to. They really want to avoid that play-in. 'Cause you get in that play, and then you're matched up with the one seed at or the two seed if you're lucky.
Never
You
mind that. If you're lucky, they
yeah
gotta face LeBron and Steph in the play-in.
yeah. So that's also true. So it's definitely difficult there, but. So you're counting those guys are 5 and 7 right now, Suns, Kings, respectively. I mean, the tie at the top is really tough to go against. I mean, the Timberwolves have been playing well. The Thunder have been playing well. They actually just smacked the Clippers. I think was the
That
day
was
back last
crazy.
Thursday or two
I think
Thursdays.
Shy went off on everybody.
hmm
I
No,
had to see that game.
he's balling, and he has just the perfect team around him to kind of uh help him out. I guess it's a perfect team where like your center makes threes, so there's no one in the paint. There's a lot of space. He has a lot of area to just maneuver and finesse and make his shots how he wants to, and the mid range is all open for him. So I find it really good for them. I mean, he's just balling. I mean, Jalen Williams is borderline star. Chet, obviously rookie of the year candidate. So I don't know. I think
I have a prediction though. We
yeah,
talked so highly of the Timberwolves and the Thunder earlier this season.
yeah.
By the end of the season, I think none of those teams are going to be the top seed.
None of the four or either of the two.
Neither the Timberwolves or the Thunder. I
I can
think
see
it's
that.
either going to be the Clippers or the Nuggets.
Here's the one thing for me is that it's just I think those two top teams need that home court advantage. I mean, they're younger teams overall. Thunder are actually really young, which is wild. But the Timberwolves have Mike Conley, Rudy Gobert, some veterans, and then some young guys, really young guys. And I think they really want this home court advantage. At least the Thunder, because when they played those Clippers, what they did was they actually didn't allow. They started the first half with Josh Giddey playing, and we've seen everything that happened to Josh Giddey. This is kind of separate. Josh Giddey just can't shoot that well, and so they're putting Ivica Zubats on him. And then at halftime, Mark Daigneault, their coach, he says, "You know what, Giddey, you're out. You're not helping us." So they put Isaiah Joe in, and Isaiah Joe can't be guarded by Zubats. He's too fast. He's gonna make cuts, and he just shoot that thing. So I think I think they're really pushing. At least for sure the Thunder are and the Timberwolves as well. They need to kind of get that going as well. But they're trying to push so they can get this home court advantage and kind of stick to uh like home court. I don't think matters as much for Denver. They're the defending champions. People have to come to them to win, especially because they're a mile high. You might think they'd want that,
That's why
but
I think it matters if
yeah,
Denver gets that one seed
that
because
helps.
the altitude.
hmm
Like again, it really doesn't matter in the NBA because
hmm
if you steal a game, home court doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
But like with Denver, it's different because like with them, the way their team is structured, you're going 7 games against that team,
hmm
which means you have to play in Denver 4 times in the span of a week. Like if you're good enough to push them to 7 games.
hmm
And that level of conditioning with like guys like the Timberwolves and the Thunder, I think what's not talked about, and maybe the Kings to some extent, because I don't think the Kings have been battle tested like that yet, despite their experience in the playoffs last year. I don't think those 3 teams want to be facing Denver on the road with Denver having home court advantage. Like
Oh yeah.
that's a definite worry for the Timberwolves and the Thunders, in my opinion. I can't rule that out because those young guys have not been conditioned, and I'd be wrong. Like when I say these young guys haven't been conditioned, it's like you don't train for that. You prepare your game, but you're not like preparing yourself for the little things like the environment changes, like the
No,
playoff
yeah.
schedules and things like that. I think with Denver, it's a different beast.
No, that's
Like
understandable.
I'm not trying to say that Timberwolves and the Thunder can't play on the road. I think they're the way they perform now, like with their road schedules, is better than the Nuggets so far. Like
I could actually tell you that.
it's like yeah, it's they've had 11 losses on the road each, and this is the best in their conference. So um, like
Yeah.
it's not like they can't play on the road. I just think it's different in playoff time with a team that's already won the championship,
Hmm.
plus those environmental factors. That's not going to be something that's ideal. So I hear you when they want those number
Yeah.
one seeds
I
badly.
was about to say, like, they're pushing so they ensure the Nuggets don't have it. But if I'm the Nuggets, I guess I'm not too worried, honestly. Just because, like, you have Jokic. No one can guard him. Like,
Yeah,
Rudy Gobert is not doing much against him. And, like, yeah, they were all saying, like, oh, we gave the champions a lot of the most difficult series, supposedly, is what they were saying last year after the playoffs, after they won the championship. And sure, like, I'd like to see that matchup, but I just don't think I just don't think you can guard him. Like, yeah, every other player I can imagine someone could figure something out, possibly, you know, in some way, shape, or form. There's a way to get to them. But Jokic, he just feels really complete right now.
he's basically like a Kawhi. He's like an offensive Kawhi.
Well, yeah.
Like, and the thing is, Kawhi is really good offensively already now. Like
Mhm.
the thing is, like I'm just talking about the way he plays. It's like no
Calm.
matter what you do, you're not gonna face Jokic offensively, just as you cannot face Kawhi defensively.
Hmm.
And
Kawhi
the
overall, yeah.
thing is, like he he's not a coach that has a system. He is the system. Like they they run the Jokic
Mm.
offense when they
Yeah.
run like with Denver. So
Hmm.
like it's I hear you on that. I hear you on that. I'm thinking about like the teams that are have like as offensive firepower as the Nuggets.
Hmm.
And the Nuggets, I probably want to maintain the top four seed
Oh,
like
yeah.
area, which they probably will, because I want to
Exactly.
guarantee that those offenses slow down as the game wears on. So
No, yeah. I can see that. Yeah. Because, yeah, I mean, like, for the Thunder, their whole thing is they have a lot of space, right? Like I was just saying. And at what point do you just take the ball out of Shea's hands? You just allow, maybe not Isaiah Joe, but possibly. I mean, I guess Isaiah Joe to hit some shots, right? Do you take that over having their best
the thing
player
is, I
make
don't
those
think it's
shots?
just. I think people get under the assumption with way Shea's producing, like it's just Shea,
Hmm.
but I don't get that perception with the Thunder. To me, the Thunder are a real team because you have Holmgren,
Hmm.
who could be the focal point of any offense if
Yeah.
you develop him enough. And you have him on the same team as Coach Alexander. You can
Hmm.
run it through Williams. Like we've
Yeah.
seen that happen last year, where they
Yeah,
run their
because
offense through Williams sometimes.
yeah, you got a buzzer beater and whatnot. Like he can score and he can do that as well.
Like you have multiple guys that can get their own shot. It's
Hmm.
like it's not just like Shea's the guy with the veteran experience. He's the leader, so that's why he gets his like and the stats like back. They're like, oh, he can't guard this dude. Like
Hmm.
he's a number one option. But like the thing is like if some team figures him out, they have multiple so like it's either like you have a guy where like nobody can figure out, which is rare to have, like
Hmm.
LeBron, like Jokic, Steph,
Yeah.
Luka. You have that guy, or you have too many options where it's just like, what the heck do we do? Like
Hmm.
Timberwolves and Thunder have to rely on those many options, like firing on all cylinders.
Hmm.
So, um, what I'm trying to say here is like the thing is, it's harder to get that to count on that on the road if they go in against Denver, because that
Hmm.
requires everybody to be at their full peak performance.
Yeah.
So if I'm those two teams, I would try to widen the gap as possible between the Thunder. If
Hmm.
the Clippers manage to secure the number one seed, like they're already a dangerous team with the one seed or not,
Mhm.
so it wouldn't be as big of a deal to me.
Yeah. Again, also a more experienced team. I mean, you have three MVPs. Three?
Yeah,
No.
3 former MVPs. That's right. You got Westbrook,
Harden.
and then you got Harden, and then you have
Oh, Kawhi, but Kawhi was never an MVP. Kawhi's a
he's the
Finals
Finals
MVP.
MVP.
So you have three MVPs of some sort
Yeah.
on the team. But yeah, I mean, they're not. I don't think they're scared, but they're a good team. So I don't think they're worried too much about home court, especially being on the front side of the top side of the conference with 4 games to kind of play with.
Where I could see the Nuggets like lose and not get to the finals is
Jeez.
against the Clippers. That's the one team
Yeah.
I can see because I can see the Clippers employ a strategy where it's like, okay, we know we don't have the personnel to guard Jokic.
Hmm.
Let's have Kawhi on him, press up, be as aggressive as possible, and then like have Jokic, sorry, not Jokic, have
Zubac.
Zubac like lurk as a shot blocker,
Hmm.
for instance, and
Yeah.
then try to deter because like Kawhi has the length to try and reach some of those Jokic shots, and that might be the way to go. It's an unproven theory.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're gonna go that route or if they're just gonna let Jokic beat him with twos and then try to beat him with threes and then
Hmm.
like stop everybody else.
No. Yeah.
Um, I don't know if they decide to put Kawhi and Jamal Murray to make sure like let's make sure Jamal Murray doesn't go off. Not
Hmm.
like Paul George and Aaron Gordon, so you take away those lobs and stuff, and they just focus on like Jokic beating you with like teardrop floaters and like if it takes them like 4 shots to get a tip in and you lose that way, fine. But like you give yourself a shot to hit like multiple threes and like play the 3 versus 2 game. Like
Yeah.
I think the Clippers can pull that off because they have the defensive personnel to pull the
Hmm.
stops like that. But I hear you, man. It's so to me, if I was a betting man for the finals, I'd probably go with Celtics and Nuggets.
Yeah. That's a really easy one. I mean, Celtics. I saw a stat on Twitter that the so in the West, from seeds 1 through 8, basically Timberwolves to the Dallas Mavs, there's a 7 game difference. Okay. Now, between the Boston Celtics and the Cleveland Cavaliers, maybe this changed because Max Strus had to make that shot or whatever. But uh
6 games now.
the the Cleveland Cavaliers are 7.5 games behind the Celtics. That's how far ahead they are in the Eastern Conference. That all of the first 8 seeds in the Western Conference can fit in between Boston and the Cavs. That's wild. Like that's crazy. I mean, obviously Boston's the best team in the league, but it's just crazy how it's Boston and just straight drop off. And I
Some
think
of it's like
we're
there's
kind
some
of back
caveats
to it.
though. Like the Bucks haven't figured out the coach. And then
No,
the
definitely
76ers had the Joel Embiid injury. So
down to the
you
fifth seed.
wonder how much of that drop off really exists if like those two things don't happen because we talked about it in the
Hmm.
preseason. Like Eastern Conference, we knew coming in was Celtics, Bucks, Sixers, and then don't forget about the Heat because the Heat just made it to the finals.
Uh huh.
Like everybody else, we kind of said like, okay, they're not on that tier level
Yeah.
right now. Like we didn't expect the Celtics to fall off a cliff or anything after last season.
No.
So it's not surprising to me they're the leaders, but it's still surprising looking at their home record and their road record, what that means for the rest of like the Eastern Conference itself. So we're kind of going into a little bit on like the other side of the conference, but I think it's a important point you highlighted with like the differences between the conferences and like how there's so much shifting to be done. Like right now, the Pelicans are the 6th seed. I could
Yeah.
easily see them slide into the playing tournament because how well the Warriors
No,
are playing,
definitely
how well the Mavs are playing lately. Kings could always like
do
turn it
something.
up.
Yeah.
Like Lakers could they don't look good right now, but they can always figure it out.
It's tough.
Like you can never count that on the LeBron team. So my point is like you could see a lot of shifting from seeds 5 through 10 in the next week, let alone like up until the end of the season.
Well, one
And
thing is, oh yeah, keep going.
no, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay, oh no, he did play against the Sun. Nope, that's not. No, he did play. Okay, good, good. I thought he hadn't played against the Suns or the Spurs, but
Who?
he just didn't play LeBron. He didn't play the first game after the All Star break with some ankle stuff, but he played the next two games. So yeah, no, if he wasn't playing, I would be really worried. But I think it's just tough. They've had their whole team. No one's really been injured too badly, but they've still just haven't played to the expectations at all. And
Yeah.
AD's been fully healthy. LeBron hasn't missed more than a game. It's just confusing. What is missing? You know?
Yeah. I mean, we were really excited about this team
Yeah.
going going into the season because we thought they did all the right things,
Hmm.
personnel wise.
Oh
And I keep hearing Kendrick Perkins talk about there's an all-star coming, there's a star player coming. To me, it sounds like it's Trey Young or Donovan Mitchell or
yeah.
some guard talent like that. Like,
Trey Young would be nuts, and I think especially because they're trying to focus on possibly the post LeBron era. Like, if LeBron's there, we need someone that could really help and kind of bring out the best in AD, and obviously a point guard slash shooting guard
yeah,
that is good at like handling the rock, giving it out and whatnot. So yeah, I could see that happening.
who knows? Well, we touch upon
Hmm.
a lot for you to chew on, but there's gonna be a lot more fun content next week for you guys as we ramp up from talking about mostly the West
Yeah.
to by teams wrapping up with the playoffs. Who knows? The Western Conference might look completely different. Houston Rockets might make a run in the play-in for some reason,
Hmm.
or Utah Jazz can find their footing. Who knows? But
No.
follow us on amon.a.mission down
Is
below.
there?
Diego got it. Very smooth with that. And then on YouTube, you can follow us at Amon's space A space mission. Um, give Diego some grief on that buzzer beater
Please.
in real time. That was absolutely
God,
glorious. Probably top five moment of the podcast
it's
for
so
sure.
messed up,
So,
man.
so you get to see the transition from joy to utter frustration. But
It was because the shot to get that lead was literally like Luca almost losing the ball, getting it back. Now it's a like 4-on-3, I guess. And then somehow he gets it to PJ Washington. He barely dunks it in. And I'm like, 2 seconds, this should be a win. And then Max Strus just does that. It's yeah,
let's truce
inexplainable.
loose.
I guess so. Let him loose to somewhere that isn't against the Mavs. But yes.
And yep. So I
Yep.
always know the joy, the temporary joy followed by frustration as a Bulls fan. Never
True.
gonna get over the Derrick Rose and Jimmy Butler days when we had
Jeez.
the chance and we choked it up
So many
against
chances.
the Cavs because the refs made a bad decision, but we also didn't play good enough defense. So I get it, Diego. But to our viewers, this is the glory of the podcast. You get to hear us talk about games in real time, as well
Yeah.
as like games we've seen in the past. So with that, enjoy the rest of your evening and peace out.
Good night.